Welcome to Andrew Rumba Live. We are in Namasuba, and I'm meeting the Honorable Member of Parliament, Honorable Odonga Otto. Nice to meet you, Honorable Odonga.
Nice meeting.
Odonga Otto was born on 11th. Odonga Otto, born on 11th November 1977 in Aru County, Padel District, Acholi Sub-Region. He attended Gulu Public Primary School and Sacred Heart Seminary, Lacho, where he completed his O-level studies. He attended St. Joseph's College, Laibi, in the city of Gulu, where he completed his A-level. That was about 1996. In 1997, Honorable Odonga was admitted at Makerere University, the largest and oldest public university in Uganda, graduating with a Bachelor of Arts degree in Social Sciences. That was around 2000. And later he obtained a Master's of International Relations and Diplomatic Studies from the same university. He also holds a Diploma of Laws degree awarded by Uganda Christian University in Mukono district. In 2010, Honorable Odonga was awarded a postgraduate diploma in legal practice and by the Law Development Center in Kampala. He's a member of the Ugandan Bar as a practicing attorney. Honorable Otto is a managing partner at Odonga Otto and Company Advocates, a Kampala-based law firm founded in 2010. That he actually co-owns it with his wife Juliet Oyulu. In 2010, he joined Uganda. In 2010, he was elected the USL to represent the Aru County constituency. He was sitting on the budget of the committee on budget and committee on finance, planning, and economic development. Odonga is married to Oyulu, a fellow lawyer with whom he co-owns their law practice. As of 2012, they had 3 children together. Honorable Odonga, welcome to Andrew Rumba Live. Let's first begin with because Odonga, all the times I have seen, by the way, you know that you are once my lawyer.
I know, we handle some matters.
But from the time I have met you, Honorable Odonga seems to be that stubborn boy. How was you growing up like?
I was told by my father that I was born on 11th November 1977. But I doubt that because my brother I follow also tells me that is his birthday. 11th November 1977. So
and you're not twins.
We are not twins. But this happens because my mother died when I was 10. And my mother was killed actually by Karamojong cattle rustlers. She was shot by bullet. So I assume that is my birthday. And I was a little privileged in childhood. I was at Mackinac Kindergarten in Clement Hill Road.
Kampala here?
Yes, from 1980 to 84. And then my parents decided to deport me to Acholi because I was speaking so much Luganda and they thought I would lose my identity.
So from Kampala here to Acholi, you call it deportation?
Yeah, I would prefer to call it deportation. I went to learn my native language. I was privileged at that time. I flew Uganda Airlines. I was flown in Uganda Airlines.
To that
Gulu
is
in 1984.
From Kampala to Gulu?
Yes, to Gulu.
You have flown?
Yes. There was a Uganda airline flight there.
That means you have grown up in a well-to-do family, Honorable Otto.
I am from a political family. My dad has been in politics. He contested for the NRC and lost. He has been active in DP politics in the 80s. And he got arrested by Water government and spent 5 years in Luzira prison.
Who is your dad?
James Otto, the late James Otto. So I remember visiting him as a young man, about 6 years in Luzira prison. And
you were 6 years when you were visiting him?
Yes. And he was released in 1950.
Did that torture you a little bit as a child?
Oh yeah, yesterday I was in Luzira visiting a client. I went back there after 40 years. So I remember a small window where they would bring food for the inmates. If the food passes there, it is for the prisoner. If it does not pass there, it's for the whole prison service. So there was a tinned chicken that was struggling to push through the window, and as a young man I was watching. And it did not pass, but the prison officer promised to give it to my dad. So I am from a political background. And then I studied in Negri Primary School, one of the most powerful schools then in the country. I was among the young people that sang before President Apollo Milton Obote in 1983.
In 1983.
Yes, when he visited the school. We were in 1984, we were in the P1 class. We were taught to sing a song, "Good morning, Mr. Obote, how are you?" And the president came at 5. So we were all
He came at 5
p.m.
You started singing
and
at that time.
And the song was "Good morning, Mr. Obote, how are you?" So they called us back to the class.
Now it is
7
good
years,
afternoon.
they are now changing that we should change the song, "Good afternoon, Mr. Obote." Then at around 4:30, they took us back that it should now be "Good evening."
Good evening.
So we were so confused. Those are my childhood memories. And Obote came.
So when you came, did you sing your good morning, good afternoon?
Some
good
were
evening?
singing "Good morning," others were singing "Good afternoon," others were singing "Good evening." You know, so, and the teachers were fearing, because if children sing "Good morning," they would be arrested for treason, and yet it's the president who came late. And one thing happened when Obote came. They gave him a plate of granuts and a bottle of treetop soda, I think, the one which is orange like Fanta, and he refused to eat. And we were hungry the whole day. So I said, I want to be like that man,
so that you partake of this.
so that I can. My motivation was the eat. Yeah, so those are my old memories. He gave the whole school new bed sheets, new blankets, corn, tinned beef. So I later moved to Gulu Public School at the height of the war. And then I joined the seminary, Lacho. I stayed there for 4 years. Then later I joined Gulu High School, where I became the head prefect. And then I joined Laibi College, Senior 6. I joined Makerere University. I graduated in the year 2000. And I did one job interview where they needed a community-based officer for a family child organization in Gulu. The salary was 300,000. I prayed the whole night for God to help me to get that job.
That was after your degree?
Yes.
2000.
I was the only graduate in the interview, and they did not give me the job.
Yet you are the only
I was
graduate.
the only graduate then.
And they did not give you the
They
job.
did not give me the
So
job.
they gave it to who?
They gave it to a relative, a diploma holder. Little did I know that God was preparing me 4 months to come to go for a bigger job of Member of Parliament.
4 months later.
4 months later. So if I had got that job, my focus
have
would
been
have
reluctant
would have changed.
Yes.
So 4 months later, I find myself.
Let's first leave that. We shall come back later to that. But I still want to explore more about your growing up. Now we see how you grew up. What about your siblings? How many are you? How did you grow up?
Okay.
How did your father now? By the time your mother died, how many had she given birth to? And so who took care of those other siblings, and how was the growing up?
Yeah, I last saw my mother in 1984. She came to visit me in Negri Primary School. She was a tall woman putting on a dress up to down. The picture is a little faded. That's the last time I saw her. I was about...
You don't have our pictures now, you know?
I have a few pictures. So I think the biggest mistake my dad made, rest in peace, when he was divorcing my mom, I think that's why they named me Odonga, to remain with your mother.
In your language, Odonga?
Odonga means to remain.
To remain.
Yeah.
So you remained with your mother?
That was the decision. That was the cry for my mother then. But my father made a decision to pick me away from my mother and took me to live with a stepmother.
Here in Kampala?
In Gulu.
In Gulu.
And my mother remained in Pade. And the very year my father took me is the very year Obote arrested him and took him to Luzira prison.
Now you remained with your stepmother?
I remained with my stepmother, and my mother did not know where I was. So I spent 5 years with my stepmother, and that is what shapes the Odonga tour now. It was very hard life. It was a very hard life. I can say with authority, I'm a product of child abuse. Yes, I'm a product.
Stepmother
yes,
abused you.
it was really terrible. At times I would even be locked in a room for the whole day as she has gone to teach.
She was a teacher?
Yes, she was a teacher at Sacred Heart School. So that instrumentalized me, that hardened
How
me.
old were you then?
11.
So at that, you are not going to school. 11, you should be going to school.
No.
Why lock you in the room and go to teach? You're supposed to be in school, actually. You're supposed to be moving with art school.
Actually, I think I was 7. So because there's no one to take good care of me, she would lock me in the house, and she would go to teach. My 2 elder brothers were already in school. So those 5 years are
the 2 elder brothers belong to this stepmother.
So from my mother, we are 4. We are 4 boys. And when my dad divorced my mom, there are 2 other sisters.
From the other step?
Yeah. Then I have, no, from my mother.
From your mother?
Yeah.
Oh, your mother got another
Yes,
man?
she remarried.
Okay.
And then I have 5 stepbrothers from my stepmother who are all younger than me. And interestingly, the gap between me and my immediate follower, the stepbrother, is 5 years, because my father produced him when he came out of prison. You know?
Yes.
So that is the kind of environment I grew up in. So I'm a product of child abuse. I think it instrumentalized me, it formed me, it hardened me.
That's why you're so radical.
It
that's why you're
me,
so hard, Honorable Togo.
And because of the mistreatment, every day I'm reacting. So I grew up fighting wrong, even if it's not my problem. So I identify wrong very easily. And then I fight it, even if it is not my business. Because as a child, I grew up reacting to the wrong things that were being done to me. The caning, mistreatment, bad food, bathing in the rain, eating less, not getting Christmas clothes. So
sometimes not eating at all.
Yes, so I lacked motherly love. So it has the pros and cons. The pros is maybe the disadvantage.
It has made you who you are.
Yeah, it has made me who I am. But I also face the world. It also trained me. It instrumentalized me to face the world. I can.
It radicalized you.
I am like a burnt brick. I don't think I will ever go through that terrible childhood in any situation I am in now, except death. So whether you take me to prison, whether you keep me at police, I will not go as low as what I have already gone through.
You have seen it all.
I've seen it all. So this is what makes.
So nothing scares you.
This is what makes me.
Nothing scares.
I'm battle hardened. Yeah.
That's why at some battles I have seen you having a one-man's army.
Yeah.
I have seen you in several confrontations. The recent one is when you are fighting against the Chaco. People were cutting trees and making charcoal out of your district.
Yeah. So I fight on. The only unfortunate thing, which I may not have enough time in this world to explain to everyone I meet, and I'm not going to be bad at this, people relate toughness to having a bad heart. They think tough people
have bad hearts.
Have bad heart. They think it is conjunctive. But I would say with authority that I have a very good heart. The people who live very closely with me, like my wife and a few people who interact with me, they understand. So I use the toughness to fight the injustice. I don't believe that when someone is doing wrong, you should talk to them nicely out of the wrong. I believe you should push them hard and they get out of it because they're already doing wrong. That is how I've been instrumentalized. You know.
I also faced part of your goodness when I brought my case to you, the land issue, the Queen Mother of Togo. You handled it. You gave me pro bono services. You gave me pro bono services. So I can attest to your good side of
my only
life.
problem, I don't mind my business. The other day I was at the Queensway. I saw a thief snatching some woman's phone. I had to get out of my car and chase the thief and brought back her phone.
Hey.
So I don't fuck Modala. I don't mind my own business.
Yes.
Last week I found the police beating up people. I had to park my car and say, "Why are you doing this?" They arrested some youth in Pade. I said, "Release them." So it's just my call. I would even stop this interview if I see a situation across there. That is now it's my calling.
So we better do this very quickly.
It's my calling. I would fight. I would fight for justice for anyone, not only for me. If God brings me at that particular scene, yeah.
So, Honorable, though, where are those other siblings of yours? Is there anybody who has taken the path of yours, like someone in politics, someone in business? Where are they? Because here only Honorable Dongo in that family.
Yeah,
Where are the rest of the brothers and sisters? How are they faring? Where are they?
They are not very successful people because I think they're going through the blast furnace, going through the art of burnt bricks at a young age. It took a bigger toll on those who are slightly older. For me, who was youngest, I adapted. So they are kind of not very successful in life. One is a teacher of English, yeah, literature and English. I support them. And then the other one I followed stopped in P4 because my stepmother had threatened to divorce my mom, my dad, if they kept my elder brother David. So my father ordered from prison that David should be taken to the village. So he's totally illiterate. He can hardly read or write from the same womb. So you see how circumstances can change people, you know. My other brothers, they work in NGOs, organizations. Yeah, we keep pushing on.
So at what point do you now get out of your stepmother's home and you get back to school and you become the person you are today? Since you have been locked at home and she was going to teach other people, at what point do you now break the chains, go to school and become the author we have today?
So my dad made a decision.
When he was still in jail or when he came back?
When he came out.
5 years later?
No, yeah, he made a decision now. This is about the year 97, 96. Because he came out of prison in 1987, 86. Remember those prisoners, they read the list on Radio Uganda, the political prisoners that were all released. He was released.
1986 after Museveni
he was released by the
power.
Tito Okello junta.
Okay.
Yeah, the political prisoner.
Okay.
So he made the best decision to take me to university. Because
How do you reach? The last time we had is you were being left at home, not going to school.
Okay.
How do you? I want
all right.
to take us through.
Okay, okay. So in 1985, when my dad came out of prison, I joined school.
You joined school only when he came back.
Yes, I joined school when he came back.
When he returned from prison.
There was some day school we would run and play and shoot mangoes. Just at Shimoni demonstration.
Here in Kampala?
No, in Gulu.
In Gulu.
So when my dad came out, I studied primary up to secondary, and then in P7 I decided that I wanted to be a Catholic priest.
Don't go to be a Catholic priest.
Yeah, that was my calling, fighting for justice. So I told my parents that I want to join the seminary. So they allowed me, and I went to the formation house for 4 years. From 1991 to 1994, I was in La Chose Seminary. It shaped me. I read hundreds of books on saints, St. Francis of Assisi, St. Augustine. So my worldview was being shaped in a different environment. But in 1995, I decided to leave the seminary and go to a different environment. If I had not left, if I had finished A-level in La Chose Seminary, I would have joined a minor seminary, and my path to priesthood would have been a little more narrower, closed. So I left. I came to a mixed school in Gulu High School, and then there I was elected the head prefect. My tenure was very controversial.
As usual.
Yeah, I was standing for human rights. For example, the teachers would say the students should not put on caps, and in the same assembly, I would say if it is weekend, it is their right.
Put on caps.
Yeah, so I did not know.
But those
then.
were very minor things.
Yeah, but it was agitating the school administration. I was the first Catholic head boy in an Anglican school. You know, so there were issues. So because of that, I decided to leave Gulu High School and go to a Catholic school to complete my senior 6, because I thought they could manage me in filling the job forms. So I did not go back to Gulu High School. My dad got a place at St. Joseph's College, Laibi, a Catholic school, which is the contemporary of Mbachi, Mwinyi, Kabalega. So when I joined there, I was offering history, economics, and divinity. There was no history, there was no arts in Laibi College. We opened the faculty of arts. So at Laibi College, we were the first people. Actually, I taught myself history. There was no teacher. Yes, I read history A level, and I also taught. They brought an economics teacher, and then divinity. They just picked a nun who was telling us, preaching as if we are teaching as if we are learning to go to heaven. Yet we are learning to pass exams. The rules were so stringent. You know.
Okay, so now you finish senior 6.
Senior 6.
You come to Makerere now.
Now in senior 6, I got 14 points.
That's second grade.
14 points. Now the cutoff for university was 15 on government sponsorship.
Yeah, so it means
I missed by 1. I applied for remarking. I came to UNEB, I paid 13,000. I was hoping that I could get that 1 point and go to university on government sponsorship because my parents couldn't afford. And UNEB remarked my exams and reduced the points to 13.
Hey.
So
you have suffered.
My dad now made a decision. He wrote a letter to his friend who is at Human Rights Watch. I think he's now in Ivory Coast. He's called Patrice Fahad. That this son of mine, I have no means, help him and pay him to the university. So when I brought the letter to Patrice Fahad, I was waiting at his gate. He came out, looked at the letter and said, Mr. Toy is my friend, I will support you. So I went to my dad had written in that letter that I should go and study law. So when I went to Makerere University to pick the admission forms for private sponsorship, I changed it to political science. I lied to him that I was not admitted for law because of my passion. So I went to the Faculty of Social Science and pursued political science, economics, and social administration. And in Makerere, you know, I led a students' demonstration against President Museveni. I got arrested at the Freedom Square. Myself, Gimara Francis, Mutesi Mary were beaten seriously.
Gimara is the former president of Uganda.
ULS, yes, were beaten seriously because we obstructed a public rally of the president at the Freedom Square. The president could not talk for 40 minutes. So I still have some of the scars here. Yes, I have a slight crack in the chest.
Hey.
Yeah.
Kata of security.
Yes, they really assaulted us. They brought us to Wandegea. They rolled us in mud. So we were taken to CPS.
This is which year?
2000.
You
the
still
referendum.
Have some scars here.
Yes, I have a crack here. So we were taken to CPS, and I had my last exam on Tuesday. And now we are in police cells on Saturday. So at midnight, the doors were rattling. They called my name from the underground cells of CPS. I came out. Who do I find? Fox Odoye from the office of the president. He gave me slaps.
Hey!
Useless man, useless young man. Why don't you go and join COIN?
Fox Odoye?
Yes. And
when you saw him at first, you thought he had come to rescue you.
Yes. And don't forget we were members of parliament with him. I even asked him that, do you remember? He used to sit next to me in parliament. It's a small world. He said, do you remember? So he started asking us, who sent you? Is it Cecilia Gwal? They had a list. Is it Cecilia Gwal? Is it Yona Kanyumozi? Tell us. So I was released on police bond on Monday. On Tuesday morning, I walked to Makerere with a kind of swollen arm, and I arrived about 8:30 and went straight to the exams room for my last paper.
With a swollen arm?
Yes, and the students were excited, the excitement at the university to see me. So somehow I finished. Eventually, the president pardoned us because of the works of Professor Tambireki. I think he passed on. Rest in peace. He came and mediated, and the president pardoned us because we were charged for ridiculing, annoying, and alarming the person of the president.
Just annoying him?
Yes.
You have a broken chest?
Yeah, so, you know. So when I finished university, You asked the question that what happened.
Mm.
I went home and told my father, I'm through. What else? So my dad says I should start looking after the cows.
With your degree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should start looking after the pigs.
Mm.
I said it's okay.
Mm.
I started. So my stepmother, this is very important, told me she went to a girls' school and there is food which they pour after eating. It is very good for the pigs. So I should go and be collecting them every day with my degree.
The other stepmother who was locking you outside,
Yes.
inside?
With my degree. So, but I did not want to annoy my dad because my dad loved us so much. So I got a teaching job. I would now ride up to the school with a bicycle and pay someone to go and
Pick the food.
pick it and bring to me, and I bring home to save my face.
Yes.
So information reached that I am not collecting the food myself. I'm proud. I'm using my education for pride. Yet there are professors in Kampala who carry matoke leaves behind their pickups. So my stepmother said I should go there and collect the food myself.
Yourself, physically. Your
So
stepmother was teaching at that school?
Yes.
Mm.
So I told her, you have children.
Mm.
Even if the pigs would swell like a balloon being blown, I'm not going.
This time you became tough.
I said I'm not
You
going.
changed this time.
I said I'm not going. I'm sorry. Because I knew it was just deliberate to demean me.
Yeah.
I said I'm not going.
Mm.
She started wailing, oh, you have abused me. Ah. So I just went to the house, packed my things, and that is how I left my father's home. I made sure I leave before my father comes back. Otherwise,
Hey.
we'll have a collision. My
Hey.
father was in town. So I picked all my
In
things.
Gulu?
Yes. From home,
You left.
yes, I came to the taxi park. What else? No money. Where am I going? I have a degree in my head. The transcript is not yet there. So that is now how
So where did you go?
I jumped on a taxi to Kitgum, to my uncle's place, my maternal uncle. I worked in his restaurant
In Kitgum.
for about 2 months.
Mm.
Then the wife did not like me because I was reporting to him directly. They told me to leave. So I went to the village,
You went back to
Pade now,
Padel now
to my sister, whom I had not seen since
for a long time.
since she was born.
You only went there because of your problem.
Yeah, so I went. She
You
was
went
in a
to look for
small
accommodation.
mud hut house. She welcomed me. She was cooking food. And then I sat there. I said, I need a hoe. I need to start digging. And she said, are you out of your mind? It's dry season.
With your degree in the head.
Yeah, because reality had set in.
Uh-huh.
So I from there now, that is how Muse Odida Francis of Uganda Australia Foundation
Mm.
picked me to start working in his place as a cleaner. Then eventually learned I had a degree. Then he gave me administrative work, and he's the man who sponsored me. He gave me the first 1 million
To do what?
to contest for parliament.
From the village.
Yes, he called me and gave me the money
From Kampala.
from Kampala. The first 1 million I ever
You
touched
ever
it.
had in your life?
Yes. And I'm deeply religious because I would walk up to his place in Gayaza. He would say, come tomorrow. I walk, come tomorrow. So on that fateful Sunday, I got up very early from where I was staying. The person who prepares for us tea, the wife to my brother, did not prepare any breakfast. I had 300 shillings. So I started walking from Kabaragala through the American embassy. I had to make a decision. Do I board to town, or I first walk to town?
Then you board from town to
To Gayaza, or because I have 300, I may not find the man home. It is Sunday, nomination is on Wednesday, and I have nothing. So I walked, I passed through Nasa Road, I went around CPS on foot. I was tired and hungry. So there was a church there opposite TLC. I just sat there behind to rest
Yes.
because I wanted to keep away from the police,
Yes.
given my previous predicament. So I sat behind the church.
Mm.
And I heard them say, there's someone who has come for the first time. Say, come, people. They came and picked us. We were like 7.
But they didn't know who you were.
No, I was just a nobody, just from university.
Mm.
My name is not anywhere in the system of the country.
Mm.
So they picked us, they took us to a nearby tent. And in the tent there, I saw a miracle. I saw a crate of Mirinda fruit. And that's what I needed most for my journey. That is what I needed most. So the man said, you are older, you come. The pastor said, you have been looking for something the whole of your life. And if you don't get it this weekend, it will not help you. Let me pray for you. So he prayed for me. Then he said, have a soda. They gave me the soda. That is all I needed. That was the best part of the prayer. I walked to Wandegea. From Wandegea, since I had energy, I decided to save the 300. I walked up to Gayaza. Because I said, in case I don't find him, that 300 will
come back.
So I
and now that you have been re-energized with the soda.
So I reach his home. No one is at the gate. The home is empty. Entered his house. And then he walks and says, young man, are you really sure you want to contest? I said, Mose, if it is not today,
never.
It's never. Nominations are on Wednesday. So he just walked to his room and gives me 1 million.
How did you look like now at that moment?
I could not, from 300
to 1 million.
Yeah. So he said, I wish you well. Then he said, first wait there. Now I said, no. In case he changes his mind, I was looking at the door. This one I will sprint. We have got a new.
In case he says, bring back.
Say, first bring back. I said. So he went to. I said I will sprint. The door was open. So he went to the room and brought me a video camera. Be filming the rallies and send me.
He gave you a camera?
Yes, a video camera.
Yes.
So I walked out.
He didn't give you transport because 1 million was for nomination.
No, nomination was 200,000.
Hey, okay.
So I walked out. I even failed to walk. I sat in a taxi.
Touching your money.
Money I wanted to pay for everyone. I did not know what to do with the money. Because it was just 14,000 for everyone. So
now you had to become rich.
I went to Owino, I bought some suits. I went to Nasa Road, I printed posters, black and white, one rim, for 180,000. Then I jumped on the bus, and then off to Pade.
By the time you left City Kampala here, you must have left behind the Kampala about 200,000.
I was now remaining with 500.
You used already? You had
yes, because I bought suits like for 60,000. They took 180 for the posters. You know, and they were not complete suits. We were matching them up. Yeah. So I jumped on a bus. I reached 30 kilometers to the constituency. I picked one of my friends. He now works in Parliament to hold the video camera
for
me. One? He's called Kibwara Disket.
What does he do in Parliament?
He's in the accounts department.
Department.
So when I reached there, I said, I need to go in a private car at least to arrive in the constituency. I was still agile with Makerere politics. So I went to the vehicle stage. I said I need a vehicle to Puranga, 32 kilometers. They were all saying in the local language that you are a rebel. Why don't you just jump? Why don't you just jump on a bus?
You are a rebel.
It's 5,000 on a bus. Why does this young man, why does he want to hire a car? Maybe he wants to take us somewhere, then the rebels ambush us on the way. They all refused. They were even debating me publicly. So one man walked to me and said, you want to go there? I said, yes. He said 150,000. This small Kadudu pickup. So he carried me. I sat in front, and this guy sat behind with the video camera. We started driving. Half the way, I say, stop. It was now. So I got the posters, and I started plastering on the car. So when I arrived in the village with the car...
You are going back to your sister?
I was now going back to my sister's place.
Who received you last time in a small house?
Yes. Okay. So I arrived in the village with a poster. The moment I arrived in the village, people gathered like 500 that there is a new candidate.
Yes.
Even in my sister's house, there were the pictures of the other candidates. So, the people gathered, and I just started addressing the first rally. Very, very aggressive.
With your video man?
Yes, with my video man. And the owner of the taxi decided to wait a little bit and listen, because I was still...
Now he was also getting interested.
Yes. Immediately after the rally, he told me he's not going back. I'm going to win the election. He stayed with me for 3 months.
3 months with you?
Without any money.
You are not paying him this
I was not paying him.
You are just buying fuel.
he would even run with the car, carry charcoal, carry people, and put fuel. He became part of my...
He put in fuel for himself.
Yes, to support me. He knew I had nothing. So we ran through the campaign for 3 months. At times, when there is no fuel in the car, we ride a bicycle. At times, I would not know where to sleep. I would not know what to eat, you know, until I got elected a member of parliament with 33%. We were 9 candidates, and the incumbent was a minister.
Who was that?
Omonyo Gaba, the minister for sports.
He's the one you trounced?
Yes, and education. And with 33%. The second person, 22%. The third person, 18%. So you imagine the votes were split. So just to... Yes. So just to end that part...
So the minister was the second?
Was the third.
Third?
Was 19%.
Hey!
Yeah. So when I won the elections, people were celebrating. Now, the next question, where do I go? I have no home. My immediate family was not comfortable with me because you remember I left on the issue of indiscipline.
Yes.
So
during this campaign, did your dad look for you?
No, my dad.
He never came.
No, he just because of the altercations I had with the stepmother, they just put me among the bad people. So he
never came around.
No. So on the day I was declared the winner.
What about your stepmom?
No.
What about your siblings other than this sister?
The relatives were there.
Okay.
Yeah. So on the day I won election, I did not have any money on me. The guy of the pickup left. So I was now thinking of how to come to Kampala. So I went to a borehole. It was about 10. I had made up my mind to go to Lira. 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
I went to a borehole to take water. Then some woman said, Ladid, let me serve you water in a jerrycan. You are now a big person. That is the first bell of responsibility. So she got water in the jerrycan and I drank. So I came and stood at the roadside waiting.
And boiled wood?
Yes. So I came at the roadside waiting for the vehicles going to Lira. But I did not have money. I was already MP elect.
They had announced you, declared
Yes,
you.
they declared me. And to Lira was 5,000.
And you didn't have 5,000?
No, I didn't have. I was standing in Rajkoko. So these vehicles from Kitgum came at 10, stopped. So I had made up my mind that I would sit behind the lorry. When I reached like 5 kilometers to Lira, I would jump off. Being a Lumumbist. Because what can I do? Reality had set in. So when the bus stopped, when the Diana stopped, I held the first rail to climb. Then the driver shouted, "This man has won an election. Come and sit in front." He removed the lady. He recognized me. We used to play pool together in kid group. So when I sat in front, he said, "You will not pay. It is on me." So another problem.
Another problem solved.
So I reached Lira at 1. The bus to Kampala was 13,000. No mobile money, no what. Now the next thing is, how do I get to Kampala? And when I go to Kampala, where do I go? But I decided to go back to Lumumba Hall. Because there is a way we could climb and jump and over. Sleep there. We call it Mufaring, Makerere University Local Association. So I went and sat in some bar where they are playing pool. I was a good pool player, and they were gambling. So I said, if I had the initial capital of 300, I would play like for 2 hours and make my money to Kampala. But that capital was not there. So I sat. At 3, some guy came to the pool house to change money from a nearby pharmacy. He came with a 10,000 note asking for change. So as they gave him the change, he looked at me and said, "Oh, this is my OB. He has won the elections." He recognized me. He's called Jolly Joe. Everyone said, "This guy, no, he has been here for 5 hours. No, he's that, he has won." So I called OB. I said, "OB, help me with the transport." So he picked 20,000 from the pharmacy. I jumped on the bus to Kampala. I went to Lumumba. I saw the arrangement was not very clear. So I remember there was a friend of mine in Kabalagala. He had a one-room house near a wetland. And I knew where the key was. So I went, I picked the key, and I needed to sleep. I had not slept like for 3 months. So I slept in his house.
And the man was not there?
He was not there, but we know where we put the key. We are the ones who printed the T-shirts for Gaddafi visit. So in the middle of my sleep, I feel a hand touching me. Kumbe, the man who sponsored my campaign, they are looking for me everywhere. I don't even have a phone. I found my uncle touching me.
Eh.
Yeah. My son, we have been looking for you everywhere. They need your official picture. They need your... Come to my home. He was a driver.
Your uncle came to this house
Yes,
of your
to
friend.
this house. They traced me. Someone had seen me. So I said, okay, thank you. He took me to his home. We walked. He was staying in a boys' quarter at the residence of the Italian diplomat. And when I entered his home, what do I see? My father and stepmother. I just walked away. I walked away. I walked away. I just got out of the gate. This is too much for me. At the time, we needed
You're
you
looking
most.
for me now.
Yeah, I
after
just
I've
walked
heard that
away.
they have
My
won an
father
election.
ran after me to the gate, said, "You are my son." So he came. I sat there. I looked at them with the stepmother. He picked 3 million shillings. He
Your
gave
father?
me, yes, that go and buy a suit. Swearing in his tomorrow. You see how the world is.
Yes.
And I went. I was sworn in, and next to me, I have the pictures. Is my stepmother and my father on the side. The very people who did not support me. So that is now how I got to Parliament. This is the man you are.
I'm talking to
you
now.
are- yeah, you
I'm
are
talking
seeing
now
it.
to a honorable member.
Yeah, and I managed to win 4 successive elections, and I successfully.
By the way, you served for four terms.
Yeah, 20 years.
20 years.
Yes.
20 years
20
you are
years.
the helm of the
Yeah,
of politics of that district.
Yeah. So as they say, beneath the white teeth there is always blood. So that is the blood. That is my story. Because at times when you look at the finished product, you don't know how the product has arrived. So
Is
this
this
is the
stepmother
top.
still alive?
Yeah, she's
The
alive.
stepmother is.
Yeah, she's still alive. My dad passed
Your dad
on.
died. I even saw the president
Yeah,
came to
yeah,
your,
the president
to your
came
father's burial.
for the burial. I was privileged. So that is it.
So are you still in touch with your stepmother? You help her?
I support the family. I support my brothers. I do what I can. But with COVID, I also
Now,
try to...
let's go into the real
Yeah.
Otto for the next career politician. Otto, but even before we go there was this Tojikwatako in parliament. You came putting up like a ninja, red tops, and then you entered the parliament. First, give me a snapshot of how that came up and what you thought about at that point when you were especially manhandled, beaten to pulp, and so on.
In the
What
seminary,
was triggering you to do that?
I found there was no space for reasoning.
There was no space
There
for
was
reasoning.
no space for reasoning. Everyone was subjective. So I realized the only space available was for drama. And having been a drama actor in the seminary, you just get the script and say, what do you want to
I
be?
saw you entering the parliament.
So I said, well,
you know, you're a commando.
I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, get the army boots and walk to parliament. I knew, I said, I'm going there. I prayed to my God. I said, there is no space for reasoning, there is space for fighting. Even your son fought in the temple. So I will get whatever happens. So we got into parliament, and the fight started. I threw a chair at Kadaga.
Kadaga is old. You wanted to kill her.
They were now fighting. You don't choose the weapons you use when you're fighting.
That's
So
old
one of
woman.
the bouncers there got
Got
the
the
chairs and threw it down. I got the second chair to throw.
Then
I,
aiming at Kadaga.
aiming at
Whoever comes.
Yeah. So I found a very strong hand holding me from behind.
Almost breaking the
Yes.
chest. Remember,
So
it was
I turned to look, and he shouted, that was Jano Katumbo Wamala. Otto, my son, never fight government in a closed environment. I think that was words of wisdom. So he dragged me out of the house, and that is how I survived beating, severe beating compared
Otto, my son, never fight a government in a closed
in a
environment.
closed environment. Now,
General speaking.
general speaking, and if I reflect backwards, no wonder they choose to be gorillas. You fight here in Luero, then you run away to Nakaseke. You know, you don't fight in a closed environment. It's silly.
Yes.
You know.
Because you'll be
They will get you.
you'll be eaten like Sumbusa.
And they came and picked us one by one. They brought these commandos. They say, we go for this, we go for this. They managed to arrest all of us. And then I was picked up there when Katumba took me out. Some 2 SFC young boys from Ankole, they continued holding my hand. So when we reached the flyover of Parliament, I got my hands off and engaged them in martial arts. You know, in seminary, martial arts
Commando.
is compulsory from senior 1 to senior 4.
Karate?
Yes, karate. Even now, I have skills of fighting. So I worked on them. I think they just picked some cattle keepers and gave them guns.
They were two.
Yeah, they were two.
You overpowered them.
Yes, and in martial arts, the principle is one: never let anyone be behind you.
Yes.
You keep getting positions always.
Eh.
So I worked on them,
Eh.
and they were talking in a local language. Is this man
Runyankole.
trained? Because I raised one of the legs up, and I was just standing
They
with
were-
one leg up. And those
Which language were they using?
they were
Runyankole.
speaking some language like Runyankole.
Kongobo Mushiza, you have trained in
So
Inga.
the staff's watching from the staff room. No one filmed. So I raised the leg up. I said, "Come one by one. This is personal."
Eh.
So it gave me time to try to walk towards Dewington.
You
So
escaped.
that is when they came for me now, like 20. They
20.
grabbed my hands. They were taking me to these drones.
Yes.
Very fast. My hands are behind. So I heard Bobby Wine shouting, "Otto, mind your head." Kumbe, that technique is when they bring you on the drone, they will bring you so hard so it knocks your head.
Eh.
So I had half a second to bend down. So they threw me just like a log. And my head is the one that stopped me on the other side.
So they intentionally they want the head, the door of the drone to cut you like this.
Yes, Bobby Wine was bleeding, Semuju was bleeding, Zake was bleeding. All of them went through that same predicament. So when I landed in, they brought also Gerard Karwanga in. They closed the door, air conditioned, hot.
Aye.
With that, I thought I could breathe a little bit.
Eh.
So from there, I said, I need some air. I tried to open the window. I had rakak. There was a police. Yeah, there's an armed man with a gun behind the drone.
Yeah.
That this is not parliament. Shut up. Then I turned and said, "You man, I think you don't need target. You just shoot. My mouth is here." Huh? Then Semuju was saying, "Oh, please calm down. These guys will kill us." I said, "No, this is the time." Adrenaline had already gone in my bloodstream. I said, "Kill me. You are a coward. You have a gun. This is just 2 meters. Shoot me." So the guy in front, who was later arrested by the flying squad, he was in the Kaiwara flying squad, said, "I'm coming to shoot you with a pistol." So when he came behind with his pistol, we had a scuffle, and then they started driving away. So they took us to...
The man had come to aim at you.
Yeah, he was threatening. For me, I've grown up with guns. I've lived with guns for so long. It is a friend. But I was already pissed up. So by that time, Zake was foaming in the mouth. The trousers were torn. So they started driving us. We protested. We started jumping on the steering, causing a curfew until they stopped at Fairway traffic light. And they dropped off Zake and called another 99 to take him to Mulago. Zake would be dead. You'd be a dead man. So we were there with Bobby Wine, Seriko Mohammed. And so that is part of the episode of Toji Kwatako. But I'm glad I came out of that parliament in one piece. The only part of my body which I lost because of that parliament, I have a broken arm. You know.
It was broken as a result of that.
Yeah.
That Toji Kwatako.
Yeah, I have a broken
broke
arm.
the arm?
They broke the ankle.
Eh.
And before I started physiotherapy, I could not even put on a necktie. Every time I have to call my daughter.
So in that fiasco, you lost your arm.
This elbow, I had a So, you see, yeah. So, but
I see the other one is not straight.
This is straight, but this one cannot. It was even like this. I had to undergo severe physio, and now I can do everything. Much as, but that's life.
So you think now you cannot do karate?
I am a martial artist. I train my daughters here.
Hey.
Yeah, I train them. I love it. And, yeah.
Okay, now, Honorable Otto, your next, I think your next episode in politics is that I have heard you want to stand for presidency.
Yeah.
How do you even begin thinking about that, Honorable Otto? When you know people like like the retired Colonel, Dr. Besigye, tried Museveni. They could only try. People like David Tinyefunza tried to fight this man. They failed. You have seen how Bobi Wine is ending. You have seen. Now, an Otto from that Aru County. How does that even... How do you see that manifest it in your eye and in your brain that I can do it?
First of all, the parliamentary episode has to end after 20 years. I have nothing useful to take back to that house.
Mm.
This is not a normal situation. I joined parliament at 23. I lost at 43 years.
But don't you think you were the youngest?
I was the
MP?
youngest MP. I was even younger than the youth MPs.
Yes.
Yes, I was younger than the youth MPs, Kidega Dan, Nusura Tipero.
Mm.
Yeah,
I remember the other young MP who joined that time was this man who is he still in Luzira? Akiba Godi.
Godi came a little later because I joined in 2001.
Mm.
So I think I have exhausted
Mm.
any useful thing
Mm.
I can do in that parliament, especially with the current crop of leaders of that institution.
Mm.
I don't see me fitting in parliament. I can still be useful there, but I think that episode of parliament should end. So what happens? I'm going to the bigger league. I'm going to the bigger league. I'm running for presidency. When I went to Europe, I did 2 masters. I did a master's in sports law and I did a master's in political philosophy from the University of Pompeo Fabra. Very prestigious and globally ranked. So my brain changed. So my coming for presidency is bringing an ideological debate in the platform. Not us versus them, not a Biafre, not Kabaka Yeka, not Mejankole Kwetera. No, I am bringing issues that have to be premised.
But do you see space for issues really in this the border politique of Uganda 40 years later? Do you see that there is your ideas are really important anywhere?
First of all, I will have a free platform of generating my ideas. Secondly, I'm looking even forward to the joint presidential candidates debate. I want to sit near Museveni like this. Because there are issues as a young generation we have to raise. And issues never lose elections. Issues never lose elections. It is candidates who lose elections.
Yeah.
You get it? Yeah. So my candidature will be issue-based. I want to challenge Uganda. I'm even publishing a book before that election. Philosophical ideas on Uganda. The areas in which I feel the country should be corrected. There are about 20 areas if we want to make this country to be a better place to live in. So I need that platform.
20 areas to focus on as a country.
As a country.
If we must change.
If we have to enjoy life in this country. And this is a long distance race.
Yes.
Some of these ideas are for 7, 15, 20 years when the Musevenis are not there. So you should not be a sprinter, a 100-meter sprinter. This is a long distance race. Remember, this is our country. If we don't do something about it, when we can do something about it, who else will do about it? So I'm going to the bigger league. I'm now leaving the Premier League, Arsenal, Man U. I'm now going to the Champions League. Actually, it is even better to be the last in the Champions League than the winner in the Premier League.
So the good thing is that you have played in the Premier League for 20 years.
For 20 years.
Now
So I'm going to the bigger league, and this is the first step. It starts in 2026. If life is there, we shall be there in 2031. If life is there, we shall be there in 2036. If life is there, we shall be there in 2041.
I'm going to join in 2050.
Yes.
Because that's
in
when
2041. In 2041, I will be 68 years old. So we are here. So I'm going for that race, and I've been doing my calculations. It looks like I'll be on top of Museveni in the ballot paper. After all, it goes to Y. So I'm now.
You have already put this in your head after Museveni it is me.
Yes. So I'm not a political philosopher for nothing. I know it is easier to win the parliamentary seat, a Rural parliamentary seat. I know it's very easy now. People are crying for me. So I have chosen to go for a more difficult, something more difficult. I know what I'm doing and give it time.
So, Honorable, if you could just mention, just highlight a few of the 20 areas of focus that we're talking about.
Okay.
In your manifesto, you're saying there are 20 points we need to look at. We may not go into deep, but let's just say this, and this.
Okay, 1. I would close all private clinics and drug shops and take all doctors back to government hospitals and pay them 20 million shillings a month.
That's number 1.
That's number 1, because health cannot be a business. I go to test for malaria, you say it needs drip. Health can never be a business. They have not done that in Europe. The same with education. Education cannot be a business.
So that's point number 2.
Point number 2, education. How do you privatize education? Schools will cheat exams so that they brand and sell to the whole world. that is the second point.
Mm.
The
Point
third
number
point,
3.
I will have a complete ban on use of charcoal all over the country.
Hey,
Total ban.
that sister of yours where you stood from, sleeping in a grocers house,
Yes.
what do you want her to use to cook?
A complete ban, and God willing, inshallah, we will have zero rated tax on gases. We shall have zero rated electricity for domestic consumption. It's possible. Because Uganda is becoming a forest. We've lost close to 43% of the forest coverage in the last 12 years. And National Forest Authority is not planting the same number of trees we are cutting. So there should be zero tax
So
on
you
gas.
stop cutting trees and
Yes.
manufacture of charcoal and replace it by removing taxes
Yes.
on gas and
And then
electricity.
people will find gas affordable. We will have even special taxes for saunas and health club. You will not open a sauna and health club unless you prove to us you have planted 50 acres
Of
of
trees.
trees.
Eh,
4, there will be a complete ban on polythene bags. Because the current one, the government is saying below 31 microns, it's not allowed, but regulating is difficult. So we need a complete ban, the Rwanda way.
Actually, I
You
have
know?
seen that. I have even complained on my social media.
Yes.
One time I went to the biggest supermarket, Carrefour. Huh?
Yeah.
Carrefour, in my neighborhood where I stay, even if you buy a Kindaze 100, they will put for you in a cafe, they will pack for you.
Yeah.
When you go to Carrefour, they say you buy.
Yes.
But they are saying they are controlling environment. But actually, that's also a business. Somebody has got a business of supplying a buvera.
see.
So it means it's another business. And the government is taxing that business. So you cannot remove that business.
So we
Okay,
need
number 5.
Yeah, number 5. We will need. I will spend the rest of my life, even if I don't make it as presidency, as a president, which is very unlikely, campaigning for devolution. We need to devolve power. The center is too attractive. We need to create strong regional governments. As of the 1960s, Bukedi, Toro, Ankole, Acholi, and then the money collected, the 44 trillion collected from the center, is sent straight to the devolved government. You control your local administration.
Isn't that
police.
decentralization?
No, that's not decentralization. The current decentralization is sending only 11% of the money collected to the local government.
They collect 100 from your constituency, they send 11%.
11%. So we need to go close to 80% of the money being sent down. Irumba is the governor of Toro Kingdom. You cannot sell your people. You will do the roads, you will do the electricity, you will do the universities. Kenya
do the medical.
Yes, Nigeria has succeeded in devolution. Kenya is going in that direction. So Uganda, the center is too attractive that even if I'm a president, I'll start looking for honest Acholis. National unity is now impossible. So we need unity in diversity. You get it? I am an Acholi, you are a Lukwara, you are a Mugisu. So I will work hard to devolve government.
Number 6.
We need to reduce parliament.
Reduce or remove
Reduce
completely.
the size of parliament to 120 MPs and make the regional parliament more powerful. Because there will be nothing that brings you to the center if the money is finding you
at the
at
district,
the regional level. You know, those are some of the ideas I want
But for
to...
me, I'm talking about to remove completely, turning that parliament into a supermarket or a hospital.
We would still need a small senate for international relations, for World Health Organization, for UN. So we need to create
Let
a
them
small...
also come and find us at the regional level.
So we need to devolve power, because what is happening, President Museveni has monopolized power the same way Obote did, the same way Tito did. So it's the culture. You will do the same, I'll do the same. So we need to devolve, and then we have unity in
Diversity.
in diversity. And last, I would go for birth control.
That is number 7.
Yeah,
not last, because we have 20 points.
Okay, birth
That's
control.
number 7.
Birth control.
You want to control how many kids they should produce?
Yes,
Why?
we want to control how many kids you produce, because even if you make Jesus the president of Uganda, with the rate of population, with Uganda being the second or third fastest growing population in the world, I think after Iran, we are bound to disaster. We are bound for disaster.
No, China has devolved because of the population.
But what is
Look, Honorable To, my father gave birth to 104 children. Have I asked you for food?
But China,
We
there is
are
population.
we are 104 brothers and sisters, one man. Have you ever looked? Have you ever seen me at your door looking for food?
I'm not a eugenicist, but what I'm saying, How are we going to do this? We will start campaign. Any mother who produces 3 children will get support, even 20,000 from the state. It is in the mind. So that we have quality lives. As of now, even if Mulago is running down, the population is too much. In the next, by 2060, we are predicted to be 80 million people. And the land size is not expanding.
So how many children maximum do you want to propose in your government? That a man and woman should have how many children?
3.
3 children.
Yeah, 3 children.
How many children do you have?
6.
So,
you see, Irumba, the point I'm saying, every government will fail to do what they do if we don't look at the quality of lives of Ugandans. So we need a small population that we can give them quality life. That is my philosophy. But the rate at which we are producing, I wonder how many children do you have?
Uncounted.
Maybe you have 14, I have 6, maybe the other. Just 3 men, you find we already have 20 children. That's a full coster.
And that's wealth in China.
It's wealth, but again,
and in India.
Yeah, it's wealth, but we need to do something about it.
Okay, number 8.
I would definitely abolish the positions of RDCs. And
that one I agree with you.
Yeah,
you can even do it yesterday.
We'll abolish them and ask them to go home.
That one needs no explanation.
Yes.
Number 9.
Number 9, I have dealt in the area of in the economy. The 5 major drivers of our economy now are foreign-owned. Yes. DSTV, Bell and Nile Breweries, DSTV South African, Stanbic Bank South African, Bell and Nile Breweries South African, Housing Finance Bank, people from Netherlands. So, Eskom and Omeme, South African. Now, other countries like Nigeria have forcefully bought Glo. They wanted it to be owned by the local people. So what is happening?
You have forgotten MTN.
Yes, MTN. So these are the major drivers.
Property in Uganda.
If you check on the URA tax, they are the biggest taxpayers. But they are not taxpayers, they are tax collectors.
Yes.
So we need to nationalize.
It's my money.
We need to nationalize.
That you present to URA.
Yes, we need to nationalize some of these entities so that the economy can improve. Because as of now, MTN sucks money out of Uganda. How can you pay 11,000 shillings just for transferring 1 million? It should have been like 200. So the profits are colossal. So we need to nationalize some of these things. We need to force them to sell the shares to local Ugandans. This is what Kenya has done. Safaricom is almost indigenous. So Uganda is a garden of these foreign countries. And we shall die in poverty. Betting. All the casinos are owned by foreigners. All. I don't know what the economists are doing.
Number 9.
In Ministry of Finance. Number 9, we will remove police barracks and ask them to stay home.
Police barracks?
The police should get private residence. You are only called to the barracks just for pollen and deployment. We don't want police to shoot and kill people and then in the evening they go and hide in the barracks. They need to be part of the society so that they have a human face. They have a human face. You conduct a reckless operation there.
Come back in your
community. Come back in the village there when they have removed your gun. It will make them, because the government is ours. You cannot treat us like we are enemies of the state. It doesn't work that way. So these are some of the areas that we need to change.
Able explained.
Yeah.
Number 10.
Which other area? Religion. The biggest thing that is going to kill Africans now is religion.
So what do you want to do with the religion?
Now we need to regulate the churches. As of now, someone just wakes up, gets iron sheets and mabate, and you find them singing in a wetland that they want to take people to heaven. Without any doctrine. So the state needs to have a firm hand on how churches are created. That is what happens in United Kingdom and in other countries. That is why when America is going to war, you hear Bishop T.D. Jakes, Joyce Meyer saying, our soldiers will go and win. Because the doctrine is the same. They don't say, God, let's pray for the people of Iraq. So the religion is duping Africans.
Actually, Kagame here, Rwanda, has regulated the religion.
Yeah.
Kagame here. He closed even some of these churches. He closed it.
Yeah, so we need
and these mosques that put out the loudest speak, he told them, you want to pray to yourself, isn't it? Yeah. You pray within inside.
And
I don't want to pray. I don't want to listen to your prayer. Why are you putting up a loudspeaker in my home? I'm passing by.
And
going
God
to do
is
my
not
work.
deaf. God is not deaf.
So you are a community that you believe in Islam, and you are praying amongst yourselves. So why do you put a speaker to shout for us? Kagame!
So these churches need to be regulated. We cannot continue like this. People spend time praying. Industries are being changed into churches. Factories are being changed into churches.
And in Europe, it is the other way around.
It is the other way around.
Churches are being closed.
Yes.
They are opening up factories.
Yeah. So it is madness.
Number 11, Honorable
Introduction of graduated tax.
Yee.
Yes.
There I don't agree with you. Let me tell you, a man like you used to pay 3,000, but the institution that would look for you to pay that money would get 1 million shillings per day. They are looking for 3,000 from you. They have used 1 million shillings. Museveni has used a very simple method. He has put that tax on sugar. You are going to the shop yourself to buy sugar. You are going to the hospital to buy medicine. You are going to buy food, meat, and the tax is going to come automatically.
I've been in Parliament, and I will tie the graduated tax to having a national ID. If you don't pay, you will not get. Because the graduated tax, even if it is 500 shillings, it has an impact on the mind of the ordinary person that it is our money which we are contributing that is doing the road. As of now, Ugandans down there have a wrong mindset. They think government should do things for them, yet they should do it for themselves. So we need to introduce that graduated tax.
I don't think that is enough to change the mindset of the Ugandan. The Ugandan has religiously paid his tax through the goods that they are buying, and they believe that it is their money that should be used to do the things that they are doing. Only that the people who are supposed to do the things, they are not doing them. They are not doing them. So it is not the taxpayer with the problem. Change the mindset of the person supposed to implement what the tax is being collected for, not the taxpayer.
But we still need, because ask yourself.
The graduated tax is about 5,000 or 10,000 now. So what's the difference? Actually, today people are paying more taxes.
No, the indirect tax can stay, but the graduated tax, I believe, will make citizens
now
more responsible. Now
you're looking for more avenues of collecting more taxes from the people.
Yeah, but it will change the mindset of the ordinary Ugandans to become more patriotic. Ask yourself, why during Obote regime we were growing more bales of cotton than now? Yet technology has improved in the year 2023. It's because the mindset of the farmers, they had to have communal farms and it was enforced through societies. But today people say, you tell government to bring money to our circle. So people feel government owes them, and that is not a good mindset. So my philosophical calculation is that graduated tax can turn that mindset.
I may not agree with you, but let's go number 12.
Yeah, where are we now? We are
number 11 now. Number 12 now. Number 12.
I will put a property verification committee.
Property verification committee. What are you trying to?
We want to count all the houses in Uganda and identify their owners and the sources of money in which they got that to put those houses.
You're interested only in houses or other properties?
Any structure built in Uganda, we need to establish.
So what is your problem?
My issue is you may be having 20 houses and you have been a cow. Some of those properties must be taken by the state.
So you want to steal your citizens' property?
Not stealing. This is what we call, because
they want to do what Amin did in 79.
No.
Chase away the agents and then take their property.
How can you be a cow and you have 7 properties in Kololo? How much is your salary in a month? It means you are cheating taxpayers.
No, we have learned to multitask, Honorable To.
Yeah, it's
that
true.
There may be a cow from 8 to 5, and from 5 to midnight, I have a supermarket.
Yeah, it's true. There are people who are multitasking. That is exactly the role of the property verification committee, to say Irumba worked, he works day and night, it is justifiable. This one was an MP, it is not justifiable. Because the declaration of wealth and assets we are filing with the IGG, it has definitely become bogus. So we really need to reclaim back what belongs to Ugandans from those who stole it
from 13.
us. Unfortunately, I don't have my notes. It will not run all up to 20.
Okay.
But you can see.
I have so far had 12 pregnant points.
The kind of direction we are taking. And also one thing I saw from Costa Rica, we will bring peace studies in the educational curriculum from primary. Costa Rica, the president of Costa Rica was given a global laureate medal They have introduced peace in the curriculum from P1, and as of now, they have abolished the Ministry of Defense.
Yeah.
They only have a national police.
Yeah.
The country is at peace with itself. If you go at break time in a school in Costa Rica, when the children are playing, if one child falls, every other child stops. They are trained to hold their chest and say, everyone attends to the other person. When that person is up, then the game
can continue.
But you go to Nakasero Primary School, you find one child kicking the other, another one slapping the other, another one crying. So we are not investing in the young to make them peaceful. So we need to bring peace curriculum, not taking people to roll in mud in Chankwanzi, fumbling with a gun. Peace can never be brought by a gun. You know, peace can never be brought by a gun. Peace can be brought by the mindset people carry. So these are the ideas I'm taking for presidency, and as long as I get a platform to adumbrate them, I'll come home the happiest man.
Honorable too. 2026, there are two major candidates you're going to face. One is the incumbent. Two is his son. Where do you see your chances, Honorable too? Let's be serious. Save that small money to do something else real.
The money is not even there. For me,
and in
I am not going to operate out of fears. I operate out of hope. I will go for it. I don't care whether it is the president, whether it is his son. What I care about is that I'm ideologically prepared to present a manifesto that if it does not have impact on you, Irumba, it will have an impact on your son. People are there listening. People are there listening.
One thing you have you have said previously is that ideas don't fail.
Yes, they never fail.
In election.
Yeah.
No, it is the candidate.
It's the candidate that fails.
So your idea, you have gotten a national platform, countrywide platform, an opportunity where police is not going to be stopping you like they are doing now.
Yes.
You're going every day selling those ideas.
Yes.
Those ideas, even if you don't win, they will not have lost.
Who
they
told you I will
continue.
not win?
I'm just
the ideas will win. I'm even going to go, even if I go up to Kashari and I find one person in a rally, I will talk for 1 hour.
One person?
Yes, I will address that one person for 1 hour.
Why are you interested in Kashari?
No, anywhere. Because these are ideas that if we have to make this country a good place to live in, we have to start selling the ideas to the next generation. And it's about our time. So we have to sell these ideas, you know.
So, Honorable, 83% of the Uganda's population are the youth.
Yeah.
In your 13-point program so far, I have not heard you having a specific agenda for the youth. Yet that's where your focus should very much be, but also the women.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe when we had reached 20 and I checked
and you know
my
now
notes,
the world is becoming digital, and it is that generation.
When I check my notes, there will be definitely something. But if you listen to me by default, when I was talking about population control, I am already saying the youth are too many.
Hey.
Yes, we need to
you want to cut them.
We need to do something about the age index of Uganda as a country. When you see me talking about ESCOM, Umeme, DSTV, betting, our country being foreign owned, by the time we remove those international companies, automatically the opportunities will come to Uganda.
The young people.
So some of these ideas are macro, at a macro level. I'm not going to be populist and start saying, I'll give every youth a border. You are not going to solve any problem that way, you know. So, of course, the youth will be engaged in production. Can you imagine in the year 2023, Uganda cannot manufacture even a needle?
Hey,
a needle.
Kira is manufacturing the cars. Yeah,
no, Kira is assembling.
Hey.
They're assembling. They don't manufacture anything. We cannot even make a needle. Of course, when I told my friend Pekka from South Africa, he said making a needle is more difficult.
Hey.
Than making a hole, because to first make it small and then to make the hole there.
Yeah, you'd rather make a hole.
Yeah, so Uganda may not be able to make a needle. So probably the needle is not the best example. So we will definitely need to reskill the youth, change our mindset, and then we can have a more meaningful life. And don't forget, when the health services and education is equal and affordable, and devolved governments, opportunities definitely will increase for everyone else.
Honorable, in your government, 2026 and beyond, the biggest challenge the President has faced in his government is corruption. What is your policy going to be like on corruption?
The first thing I would...
Anybody caught stealing money, where does he go? Does he go to Luzira? Does he go to
The first thing I want to do, I want to expand Luzira prison.
You want to expand it?
Yes, because there are very many people who should go inside there. Some of them are being escorted by lead vehicles. Some of them are the Mabati thieves. So the prisons have to be expanded because there are very many people like dressed properly like me who need to be in that prison. Actually, in one of my policies, which I released to the public, I said I would release all the prisoners in all the prisons of Uganda, except those who committed murder, rape, and defilement, and aggravated robbery. All the rest, I'll tell them to go back home.
You start afresh?
Yes, because, and then these ones who have been stealing taxpayers' money should go to those prisons. Because Uganda is a country where the chicken thief
is in Luzira.
Is in Luzira. The one who bought fake helicopters, he has a lead vehicle in the traffic jam. So, save for murder, rape, and defilement, I plan to give a fresh opportunity. I will open the gates of prison and tell people to go back home.
I think we should hold the election tomorrow. People in Luzira are saying, should the election be 2024? No. 2026 is too far. So that you come and rescue.
Yes, but if you come out and you are caught in criminal behaviors again, the sentence you are serving will be double.
Hey.
You will now not go through a normal trial.
Hey,
yes, because it means, no,
kangaroo.
If a Rumba, you are sentenced to 7 years for stealing a goat.
You come
we
back
release
and steal
you
again.
And steal.
14 years now.
14, and we are not going to waste time in the trial. We said because the other time you are forgiven.
They might have told lies against me.
No, but you know some people are genetically thieves. So as I open the gates of Luzira prison, we must get those ones who are genetically thieves to take them back. You get it? So there are a lot of ideas, and I'm looking forward to the candidates. You see in your village, you hear in the other hill, all the brothers are thieves. Yeah, so it is the genes. So those ones with the genes who would come out when I open the gates of Luzira prison, we must get them. The moment we get you, pop, check the fingerprints. You go back. But the other good people who were caught on the wrong side of the law, they can come and heap potatoes, they can come and graze cattle, and we are locking them in Luzira prison and feeding them on our taxes. Those ones, definitely, they will have to go home, in my mind.
Okay, as we went up this debate, this interview, Honorable Otto, just give us a picture of how your first 100 days will be in your government. And I'm sure I'm going to be the Minister for Information. This one I'm sure.
There's a friend of mine from the West.
I hope there is no
I told him
that.
He's going to be the Minister of Finance. And you know what he told me? I will start printing money. Not even stealing money now.
Printing?
Yes, printing for use. So you see the kind of people we are. Definitely, your credentials in information is not questionable. But what bothers me is that we need to assemble a team of people who are committed towards the same ideology. And we try to bring Uganda back on
their rails.
Yes. I worked in Parliament for 20 years. This is the only property I have in Kampala.
Are you sure?
Yes, this is the only property.
Some people will say, Odongo is not hard work.
This is the only property because I live within my means. Actually, I was even thinking the other day, in case I decide to go back to Parliament, I will start sleeping at Sanyu Baby's home. For all those 5 years.
Why?
Because it's vanity. How much part of this house do I use?
One single room.
Yes, we are chasing the wind. It's vanity. The Minister of Finance in Kenya stays in a monastery. He leaves from there and goes to work. He has given up on these worldly things. So that part, very few people have told it, and there is no congestion there. So we need to get people with the right mindset, people with the commitment, and then we can have this country to be a better place to live in.
So part of your 100 first days, first 100 days, you would live a simple life.
Very simple.
What the other thing do we expect to see in the...
No, some of these things, the way I've programmed my campaign, like the 14 things I told you, every week I'm releasing 2 of them in order. What I will do first, what I will do second. But I think the center of power needs to be demystified.
Mm.
I will definitely restore term and age limits.
Mm.
I will
How many terms will
definitely
you serve when you become president?
1 term, 7 years.
Hey, you want to add yourself 2 years?
No, every president 1 term, 7 years. Because if my responsibility is to behave because I want to win the next election, I will fear to arrest Irumba because I will lose the votes in Toro. You get it? But the moment I know I'm doing what is right, and I don't have another election, I will jail you. But again, the disadvantage of 1 term and not seeking re-election is that people can steal because they don't need anything from anyone. Let me now steal what I have and keep it. So we need to restore term limits. We need to restore age limits
and expand the term from 5 to 7.
From 5 to 7, and
only limit to 1 term.
And limit it to 1 term. And probably we don't need universal adult suffrage for electing the president.
Mm.
We need a certain class of people to elect the president. Because these people who want groceries, sugar, soap, and salt, and shouting, our man, they are the ones killing the society.
Hey, so what do you want to do? You want electoral colleges?
We need to put a threshold. Maybe you should have A level or O level.
For you to vote?
Yes. Because these ones who are asking for groceries, for alcohol.
But Honorable Dongoto, the people actually who are asking those such things and the people who are distributing the same are educated people. Actually, this country has been killed by the elites like you, not you as a person, but people who are educated like you. The people you are thinking are not supposed to vote actually have no problem. They have morals. My father was not educated, but you could not buy his conscience. This country is dead because of the educated people.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree, but now, like a young man in Kazo there, in the village, who is not educated, can he understand GDP and balance of
Even if he doesn't understand.
So he votes for what?
But he has his moral, he has his conscience.
But he votes for who? So this debate has to start, because not every Jack, Jill, and Jerry can get up to decide. They don't have access to information. They don't know the issues. If they select 20 people like Irumba to elect a president, you'll make a very good decision.
Now, these 20 people like Irumba, President Museveni is going to call them and give them each 50 million, and they will hand over power to him. This is what has been happening.
Of course, you are right. There is
so
no guarantee. Even professors are making the worst decisions.
The problem is not the uneducated. The problem in Uganda is the educated.
Yeah, but what I want is a president that is there like the Malaysian way, basing on the merits, not basing on that the people of Uganda like you. You are from the ghetto. We are not going to go anywhere. Yeah,
you speak good patois.
You speak good patois. You know, you are Nyankole. You see, these issues are trivial. Yeah, these issues are trivial.
You are tall, you are brown.
Yeah, so we need to think of how we can have that person in that office. The president needs to be more of a CEO. Actually, we need people from the corporate world, the corporate philosophy. It needs to be an exemplary person. In Kenya, the president is almost a CEO because they are multinational. The politics is being controlled by the billionaires. So there's a little bit of sieving. In Uganda, there are no safety nets. You find the police has blocked the road, Ginger Road, highway to Nairobi. The Namboze is having a rally. Over another one emerges from nowhere. Odongato comes from nowhere. He's an MP. Oh, Bobby Wine from the ghettos. He's saying he wants to be the president. Really? We need a KK. We need a Siva.
A Siva.
Yeah, because to be the first citizen, it's not a joking matter. Maybe I'm not even the best. So that Siva would
help.
Yes.
To sieve.
Yes. But if we are going to go like this head-on collision, oh, our man, oh, my tribesmate, then we shall keep repeating the same cycle. And you may not have a strong president like Museveni. So we may have anarchy after President Museveni. So we need to start thinking. And that is the very reason why I refuse to run for parliament again. Because the people who voted me out could not understand. Now they are taking their land. The Balalos are residents there. They are cutting the trees. They have not paid their cows. They could not see far.
Honorable, Honorable Odongoto, as we close this interview, I wanted you to have one word on what has been happening in the parliament in regards to the alleged corruption in parliament. If you can have a comment, what do you think is happening at parliament? Do we still need the parliament anyway? For you talked of reducing it, but do we actually need a parliament when you see that the people who were entrusted with the offices, educated people? Today, someone can tell you, as educated as you are, someone can suspect you to have taken 500 million for a cause. So how do you look? Where do you place this parliament of Uganda today, vis-a-vis what you are seeing that is manifesting?
See, Irumba, if you collapse here now, who is going to help you? Is there an ambulance that will come? You may end up in hospital on a border. You may have to call someone you know, and then they come and pick you from here. In United Kingdom and Rwanda, anywhere you collapse in the country,
There is an ambulance.
there is an ambulance. So if the government does not do anything for the citizen other than making the roads, the citizens will start stealing to secure their future. That is exactly what is happening in Parliament. Everyone is saying the state does not provide.
Let me secure myself.
Let me secure myself and the family. So they are stealing. They are stealing, and with a clean conscience, because the future is uncertain. So unless we invest in the collective good like education, health, you will never get patriotism.
So somebody is stealing to take care of the things that government would have taken care of.
Yes, ordinarily. So what we see in Parliament is greed, is thuggery, is robbery. And I don't know how we got there. Parliament was a young baby. Now the baby is taking weed.
The baby is taking
The
weed.
baby is taking weed and is being kept. The baby is being kept by mafias. Watching porn. The baby is just 7. So I think we need to increase the age of anyone to be the Speaker of the National Parliament.
Age also.
Yes, we may have to have 65. Because some of these problems is coming because of young men. Young men. I don't know, maybe I'm not right, but the young men are greedy. So we need someone who knows he has less than 10 years on earth and is judicious. But you have a young man of 43 years like Taiwa. He has built a house in Kigo here. The house is the size of a mountain. Here in Kigo.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that, but
Taiba had been a businessman before.
I know,
he was
but
a businessman in South Sudan.
I'm not saying anything. I'm giving us an example. So you'll see that the greed is increasing. People never have enough. For me, my philosophy is no matter how much money you have, you can only eat a plate of matoke. So we need probably to increase the age for someone to be speaker.
I don't think so.
I
don't think so. I don't
the
think
parliament
the age
is
is a
rotten.
problem.
The child is taking weed. I requested President Museveni to dissolve parliament. So it's just confusion.
Maybe what I can buy, what I may agree with you is that the child could be taking weed. Otherwise, the age has no problem. My name is Andrew Irumba Katsabe. Please help me and follow us on our social media platform, The Spy Television, The Spy Uganda online newspaper, The Pan-African Pyramid. We are on all our social media platforms. Just look for The Spy Television, The Spy Uganda, and Pan-African Pyramid. This interview has been for Honorable Odonga Otto, the incoming president, 2026 to 2031. He has said he was only going to vie for 1 term, 7 years, 1 term. He's not going to come back, so don't expect him beyond 2031. Honorable Odonga Otto, it's been nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Welcome.